Warning! What you are about to see and hear is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed on this show are our opinions and do not reflect the views of BTW 21 or its staff. Now, time to be real with Daniel Lewis and Chad Hudson.
God is looking for someone real. People are looking for something real. Just be real. We are your hosts, Daniel Lewis and brother Chad Hudson.
Hello.
Yes, and we're here with you another Thursday night jamming it. Well, we're not jamming. Well, we're getting ready to jam.
We will be
I
jamming.
just kind of gave it away, didn't I?
I'm going to tell you what, we will be jamming.
We got some special guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chuck is back in the house.
Chuck's my man.
Yeah, he is. And he's brought friends.
He has brought friends.
And he's brought a whole pile of instruments.
Talking about instruments, he brought a left-handed guitar last time he was here, but it was right-handed, left-handed. It got me all confused.
It did.
Now he's got a guitar that has 7 strings.
Really?
I've seen it. I counted them myself.
We're getting ready to
I
check
need to
that
talk
out.
to him about that.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen our first episode, first I want to thank everybody that's watched, everybody that's subscribed. We got our first episode now on
And
Facebook.
everybody who's sat down at these seats.
Yes, and everybody that sit down in these seats. All our guests. But our very first guest was Chuck McCall. He come out here at the whim of the wind and the extravaganza.
The extravaganza.
The extravaganza.
Yes, sir.
I think I kind of might have titled him that.
Yeah.
Whether he likes it or not.
I'll make him a shirt. I'll have Katie make him a
The
shirt.
extravaganza.
Off the cricket.
He is.
Yeah.
He is the that's
Oh.
right. That's right. They're ready to go.
They are. Look at them all.
Yeah, let's listen to them jam. Then we'll set them down and find out who they are, what they're doing, and
We'll talk to 'em
what
a
they've
bit.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk to them a little bit. Interrogation time.
All right, guys, be real.
Hey, Chad. Intimate conversation.
I'm not. Not with these guys. They kind of intimidate.
Let's do it.
Come on, guys.
Be real.
track, there's no turning back. And then you cry, you say that life isn't fair. Now tell me why should I care? Row after row, end of the line. Day late, dollar short, you're all out of time. What will you do? Who will you call? Who will catch you when you fall? No one at all. And then you cry, you say that life isn't fair. Don't tell me why. Why should I care? All the pain you kept inside, you kept running, but you couldn't hide. So now you weep, but your words are cheap. Searching for sympathy, you'll get none from me. And then you cry, you say that life isn't fair. I know life isn't fair, but tell me why? Why should I care?
And we're back. Man, I'm telling you,
That was great.
that was great. I would have to say that you would have to be here because I can't hear anything now. I'm deaf.
It rocked the house.
It rocked BTW 21. Shania, have you ever had anybody rock the house like they just did? No.
She said no.
No.
That was thunder.
She's a producer.
Right. She's great.
She knows. They've had these business people in here, and they've had all these other things going on in here, but they've never had anything like that. I've seen stuff falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to change the locks now, probably.
Tell us all what the band name.
So anyway, yeah, we got to introduce these guys. Y'all seen them playing. This is the Wondering. They've been all over Virginia, North Carolina. Here in Martinsville, I believe is where you started. You know Chuck McCall from our first episode.
My guy.
He's back. He's back, and he's brought friends. But all of them together make the band. Great bass player, as you know, right here. The drummer right there. The singer, lead singer right here. And then we got Chuck McCall right there tearing up the shredding on the old guitar. So what we want to start out with, I guess, like we do all of them, interrogation,
Yeah.
is
Where
how
were
you
you
started.
born?
How you start? Yeah, where were you born?
What's your favorite?
How'd y'all meet up to start? I know there was probably several bands and people come and go.
Most of us are nerds, and like we played Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Nerds are my friends.
Did
It was
that.
Starland Avenue Cards and Comics, and like I've been talking about it for a while, and like I was in another band. I was with the Bones at the time, but it was like I knew they played music, so I was like, hey, we should definitely get together sometime.
Right.
And then like after years of just saying it, we finally did it, and was like, man,
Who was the first one you met here?
Mikey, I believe.
Mikey.
And then
We need to introduce these guys
Introduce,
because I'm like,
if you would, just because we know you, so we're going to direct the conversation. But they're
and I've met these guys, but I was kind of inebriated or whatever you call it.
yeah, that's
what?
So
I was drinking water.
Water.
So this is Myron Smith, singer and lyricist, and this is Christopher Superman Reeves right there on the drums, the skins right there. You got Mikey Patterson here. He's the bassist. You know what I'm saying? That's the thunder position, just keeping us in time there. It just always just mean mugging me like, what are you doing with your hands? But he holds it down. I torture him all to death because
Shania got some good shots of that. We were like watching, and we were like, oh man, and she was like zooming
And back
in.
to what you were saying about him keeping time, you really notice that with live music. You could kind of lose that in a record. But when you're sitting here in live music and you see what he's doing and what he's carrying together, right, that just keeps it all.
we're kind of like different now because I guess like we've even experienced it. Like when we play now, like music has kind of moved past kind of what I grew up doing. So like we're kind of like an anomaly because there's bands still doing it, but there's a huge gap because like kids aren't doing it. And like the younger bands that got their own style, and like a lot of our stuff's like lead playing, and it's just like bombastic and like a little bit more like party atmospheric kind of stuff. Whereas like everybody else has just got this formula, and their songs sound like that, but we sound like every song's kind of different, and people kind of just like halfway through a set might be like digging it, and halfway like what's going on, and we bring them back. So
Right.
It was
Something
just
to jam to.
It was great to see four people doing different things, and it all coming together.
Right.
I mean, that's beautiful. Like I said, he was carrying this, and then it was enabling him to go, ta, 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 and it's able you to go, wee, 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 and then he's coming in with the lyrics. It was great. I loved it, man.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
Chris is gonna dig in. He kind of cheats and like throws in some earplugs and just like bashes us with a china. And we're just like, all right, dude. Normally we play in a trailer, so sometimes we just put in earplugs just to get through
I
it.
mean, you guys were doing something. I'm over here making noises. But you guys were just, that was incredible.
So what you're saying, everybody's basically from the Martinsville area, Henry County,
Oh, yeah.
Martinsville area. That's cool, man. And y'all are traveling because you've been in places. I'm watching you on YouTube. I'm watching you on Facebook, and I'm like, I can't get to these places and get back without getting a DUI or something.
A DUI?
Well, I mean, no.
We don't do that.
No, we don't do that. But I mean, it's tell us about some of the places you've been. You want to yell out some of the I know in Danville
Or some of the places you're
Salem.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
Yes. Myron, he's booked us a lot of places. We played. We just played the Rooster in Gastonia. It was awesome. We actually had a green room,
The Rooster.
and it was amazing time down there. And
Now is that near Durham or where you?
I think it's near Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Our next show is at Monstercade, April 8th in
That's in
Winston-Salem.
Yes.
We're going to be playing with Black Tide Gallows and some other bands to be announced.
Nice.
Now, to back it up, you said a green room. What do you mean by that?
So normally when we play stuff, it's just like a mud show. Like it just show up and it's just like, we got to move the furniture, right? 800-pound stage. Right. We've showed up to a place where we're like, where's the rest of it? When we played like in Roanoke before, and then we played this place like Ipanema Cafe in like Richmond, and it's like a vegetarian like
Richmond,
bar.
Roanoke.
But we get there and it's like we got to move the tables out, and we're like playing in the corner of a basement. And it's literally like I was like jumping and hitting my head on the light bulb and like bouncing off the wall. I'm surprised I wasn't.
So now the green room, you will be able to put pictures behind.
Yeah, we actually like had water, a cooler, like a
we
bathroom.
have one of those green
bathroom
rooms
right
here at
next to the stage.
BTW 21 too.
Yeah, I didn't get to use it.
But I want to see if Chad Hall won't buy me a green suit, so I could use it.
So the guitar starts
Yeah,
floating.
so the
and
guitar
Chuck-
just floats around and no one will know. But
It's
we'll
always
see what he
sunny in
says.
Philadelphia is like enter the chat. And, like
We'll see
cease and
what he
desist.
says.
Right. So how long you been playing? I'm gonna put you on the spot because he's a quiet voice.
But he was playing the bass.
He's playing the bass.
I've
So.
been playing off and on since I was in 8th grade.
Wow. So how long is that? How long has that been?
man,
Years. Making you think now.
Right, because
We're making him give away his age.
Yeah.
How long has Jesus been dead? How old are you
He's
now?
younger than he looks.
Maybe close to 18 years.
18 years. Wow.
Looks younger than he is.
Man, 18 years. So there's some. I can see. Because you watch those YouTube videos where it's like somebody's been doing something for 5-6 years, which, I mean, you have talent and they can do that. But then if somebody comes in, they got 18 years or 20 years of experience, you can really notice the difference because they flow with everybody else. Not only do they got the boom, boom, but it's the band thing. It's not just I'm by myself kind of thing.
Well, just like Chuck McCall, that I noticed that was a 7-string, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I noticed that your bass was a 5-string, so it has an extra string on it.
Fully because he wanted to play a 7-string, so I didn't want to tune down to A, which is what his top string drop down is tuned to an A.
Really?
Okay.
And it rattles way too much on the bass with the loose strings, so I just went another string so I could tune it down to
See that?
to match it.
Wow.
There we go.
Thanks, Chuck.
That's good stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good thing. Adds another dimension to it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, we got our drummer here too, man. Might have to lean in there a little bit.
Pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up and take it. Take it on
Talk
down.
into it.
How long you been playing, brother?
I've been playing off and on probably for about 12 years. I had
Wow.
never touched a drum set until I got out of high school.
Out of high school.
Yeah.
That's inspiring.
It is.
Because a lot of people think if they haven't learned it by high school, forget it.
Right.
I ain't got no hope.
Well, see, to help me out, I grew up a band kid. I played tuba from 6th grade to 12th grade at Bassett and everything. So I had all the musical knowledge and everything.
Right.
After high school, tuba isn't exactly something you want to continue to.
I don't know. I think you might have
Y'all
to
need a
bring it
tuba.
out here.
They need
Y'all need a tuba in the
You're
band.
wondering.
And if
There's a
you're not
tuba
going
in
to
the-
have it, Be Real's going to have it. We'll have a tuba on.
You know how many times that tuba was smell off to practice? It would just be like, dude, I'm over this. Who keeps putting that in my tuba?
My son Benjamin, he's starting in the middle school. He's playing the trombone.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a little trombone practice
There
at
you
the
go.
house.
One thing leads to another.
Right, absolutely. So tuba, how'd you get to the drums? No
I-
call for the tuba.
Yeah, I knew a whole bunch of friends who were looking to play in bands, and I figured my fingers are stupid. I can't play guitar or play piano or anything like that. I figured the easiest way to get into playing music was to hit circles. So the coolest thing about drums is that if you hit circles, you're good.
I wish I was that smart.
Okay.
I
That's
really
what
wish
you're
I was that
saying.
smart.
So if you find a circular object and you hit it, you're just as good as me.
Wow.
Hey,
No.
that's good stuff.
No,
Kids need to hear that.
There's a gift.
I'm sitting right here, dude. Like, you gotta bash me like that.
It's gift. It's talent.
That's good. That's nice to me.
Not everybody can do that. That's amazing stuff. Like I said, I've seen y'all before, and then of course this afternoon it's just like, I love it. I thoroughly love it. All right, Mr. Lead Singer.
Okay.
Make sure you lean on over there, which your voice is pretty projected. Anyway, I hear you. Good singing
Yeah, I
there.
can put my headphones.
So how do you become a lead
can hear
singer?
us.
How do you know that you have the voice? People telling you, man, that sounds good, or what?
You just be best friends with the bass player. They invite you to be in the band.
Right there, you go. Well, it just works.
Yeah, for sure. Because I have a million projects going on, so this is just kind of. I've really enjoyed it though. It's been a blessing to be a part of it for sure.
Right. And he introduced you as a lyricist too. So you're writing the songs.
Right.
Everybody writes this. I mean, the music I know, but the words that you. Cool.
Yeah, and when we play live shows, we do mostly originals, and then we'll throw in a couple covers in there to have a little variety.
Right. Yeah. And what did you play for us just now? We heard we got a Be Real song.
We got a Be Real song.
Is it called Be Real?
Yeah, dude.
It's called Be Real.
That's what we call it. But
Yeah, that's our newest song.
Man, that is
Our
so
newest
blessed.
song, Be
We are so blessed. They
figured it would be
made
called
us an
BS.
intro song, which y'all hear in the intro, and again because we want to play them, we want to show them live. But just what a blessing that is that these guys
That's cool.
are doing that for us.
That's cool
That's awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
We figured you'd call it BS, not Be Real.
BS.
We're glad you like it, I guess.
That's what our show is.
Right.
BS. We need to change BS. Make an S somewhere around there. The podcast. BS. The podcast.
Spray painted.
It'll just
over the
spray
whole
painted.
thing.
Yeah, it's spray painted anyway, so we can just mark it over with red.
You could be like, why watch BS when you can watch Be Real?
There you go.
We got slogans. He's a writer.
That's free right there. Just gave that one to you. That doesn't cost us money.
Yeah.
Hey, it's on our air. We own it.
Actually, when we started doing the YouTube stuff, which we started when we were doing this podcast, I was kind of worried about the copyright stuff. So I was like, we need some original, and we need some original people doing the original stuff. And then Chuck was like, we can do that. We can work on that.
I don't know how good it's going to be. We can do it, man.
Oh,
That's
it's going to be
That's
great.
it. Yeah, we'll promote you, man. I mean, thank you for promoting us. I mean, it's a blessing. It really is.
It was nuts. I was shocked how many people actually like saw it without, like coaxing. Normally everything I do, it takes a lot of coaxing. I for whatever reason we joke. It's what Josh calls like a vampire town, like a sundown town. Like it's just like everybody just like doesn't come out to shows, or they'll come out one time, and like we're competing with Netflix and everything now.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, like our last run of shows, we just been sending it so hard, and like at Funky's, it was insane because like we show up there and it's kind of like an arcade, and it's like every type of person was there. You got just older families, guys with cowboy hats, like
geeks, nerds, cowboys,
and, like,
rednecks,
young lady. Yeah, everybody was there, and like our first 3 songs are just like, just buckle up. You know what I mean? It's like here's your barf bag. We're sending it.
Let's rap.
And so like everybody hung in there, and people were like digging it really because we're just sending it, and they just tell passionate. That's kind of like the best adjective Myron has described me. He's like, hey, wouldn't call me good, but I would call me passionate.
Definitely.
And
I agree.
Like we got to Vanilla Ice, the cover Ice Ice Baby the way we do it.
Y'all do that?
Yeah,
Man, we
it
should have got
shocks
y'all to
people,
play
and
that.
like everybody starts singing it.
And
So
it doesn't matter who or what the crowd
Yeah.
is. Like everybody, like we played at a place and it's just complete metalheads, pink hair, and everything like that. And like they're
they all
singing
know
the
that.
third verse to the song, like with Myron. And I don't
Wow.
know the third verse to Ice Ice.
we do it all the time.
But everybody just loves it. They
Yeah.
just come in and have so
Right.
much energy.
I could see.
I could say I do too. I grew up with Ice Ice Baby, and I'm not a Vanilla Ice fan or any of that kind of
just
genre.
imagine-
But it's just that
Just imagine being at a show, having a few drinks of water.
water.
And then,
Speaking of
we're
which.
playing some real heavy music, the vibes, and then they break out with that. You'd go nuts.
With their
Right.
they got that
You just
vibe
go
too.
nuts.
They got that vibe.
I like what you're doing there.
I like what
That's
they did
cool.
with our Be Real intro. It's kind of it's not metal, but it's not, and it's got some R&B. Oh, it's just a mixture. Seems like a mixture of some stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to dial it in for whatever reason my head wasn't behaving, but I was trying to get like a cleaner tone for you, so like you could have more stuff to use, like interlude stuff. But
I've seen you over there.
we just kind of sent it.
You and your
love
amp, you guys were wrestling.
I just love
Yeah,
the
I mean,
riff. I love the
see him?
riff. So you said you've been playing with that riff for a while, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it was just like, this is what we need to do.
I'm always doing like kind of like Eddie Van Halen. You hear like Hendrix and like Eddie. They're to their dying day. They're like just knob twisting.
Yeah.
We're always chasing tone. I think it's just because we like lose more hearing. No one really wants to tell us that. No, we're like tone. We're tone purists. We're trying to find the holy grail. It's like, dude, turn that thing off, dude. It's like you got like a hot rod in the house, dude. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Now he had an amp actually you could turn to 11, right? Didn't they make him an 11? You
Yeah,
got
that's
1
more of a
through
joke.
10,
I
and
mean, I really don't know how a podometer just like when you wrap it around, it's broken. But like, we just didn't want to tell the guy.
Like I said, I saw you over there wrestling with yours. You were turning knobs and pushing buttons and
and y'all were talking about the
kicking pedals, and
the-
I don't know, he was over there wrestling.
The
Right.
7-string,
good
it's like
stuff.
so
yeah, let's talk about the 7-string guitar. What's that about?
Where's she at? You left her over there alone?
yeah, dude,
She's all
they
getting
were,
cold. And
I just throw them
They're
away.
going to get back to it, though. They're going to play
oh,
us
yeah, they're
another
going to play
song.
us out. Yeah, they're going to play us
But
out.
so like my first real professional guitar, I got this 7-string Peavey from Rocket Music. It was in Blacksburg, Virginia. The guy who owned it was named Richard Jesse. He was like a Berklee College music graduate, and like he just left Virginia Tech because he was like, it's a football town, no one likes music here. But he moved to Austin, and that was before everybody did. That was in like the '90s, like late '90s. But like he taught me a ton, and like I even bought it with like a bad check. Basically, it was like post dated, and my mom was like, "Hey, just give him this check, and like it'll post date it." And I was just like, I didn't tell Rich that it was post dated. Just like I got a guitar that day, and like I got a phone call later, like you little. I was like, I am so sorry, Rich. He's like, you better be glad it's you, because I would prosecute. I'm just like, we'll pay you extra. I'm good for it.
Want that guitar.
The money's coming. It's already beat up now.
So what string is it? What are we tuned to?
So it just adds another one, and like now a lot of people, they're playing like a lot of like 8-string, 12 strings, 30 a million strings. Me, I'm just like, I can't keep 6 in tune, so 7's a problem. And like buying more than 7, like then I'm just like paying bass player numbers, so I'm not having that. So like
So
7's
you go up to
my
8,
bottom.
and then he'll have to go to 6, and then
Yeah, and it's like
continuous.
it's what a lot of bands do now. I don't want to say it's like they don't have talent, because a lot of the guys that are doing it, like the originator was Steve Vai, but really it's like old guitars were like lyres and lutes, and like you can just have a million strings. It's really just like it just adds options. It's just a paintbrush and colors.
Another E string? What?
Yeah, so it's a lower. It's basically at the bottom bass string gauge kind of, but it's a little bigger than that. And
Oh, so it's the other way.
yeah, you're going lower in. So
Lower.
think about like a piano. So like when a guitar is, the reason it stood around the test of time is because it's the closest instrument to the human vocal range. That's why you can do the
Really?
talk pedals with it. That's why it went from an accompaniment to like a solo thing, because it's just the closest. Even a piano doesn't, because it goes in like 3 steps. It's a full step, what they call it, three. But like a guitar can hit a lot of minors, and really a fretless guitar can do anything. It's really wherever you tune it.
Right.
That's why it stood the test of time. Even though like computers now, and they're going to just put analog rhythms, they'll probably put an AI playing guitar and studying everybody, and it'll probably be the best thing ever. But will it be though? Because it'll still not have a soul. So like that's one thing that like. As I was young, I was kind of like I grew up kind of like a music Nazi. I was just like a metal purist. Like it had to just be like lightning fast and like Jason Becker and all this stuff. But as I got older, it's just like music's just music. And, passion is really the key. Guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that. Like
The
everybody,
rich tone.
being fast.
He says that, but I'm pretty sure we have video of you playing pretty fast.
He was playing behind his head.
Right.
Doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well. yeah. Was that the...
Is that in the future? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that in the future.
In the future, I can play
Hey, if you want to later on, try that behind the back.
Yeah,
thing.
try that behind.
Just see-
I think
see how it
I think
works.
he can
I'm gonna
do
try
it.
that out. Let's see if
I'm
we
gonna
can
lay
do that.
$20 that he can do it.
Let's get this back foot
I'm
there.
not taking that bit. I've
Take
taken
it.
the
Man, I wish I could do a Chris Farley cartwheel just one
So
time.
yes, ain't that the truth? So when you're buying strings, is that something special, or you got to buy 2 packs?
Yeah,
'Cause
usually,
it's 6.
most places in town never had
No,
it. But I'd like,
I've
I
never
would
seen
just, pretty good salesman, so I would just, come in, like, wave money. And, like, how many sales you made today? They're like, none. I'm like, well, here's a sale.
Right.
Like, can you just, I would like to buy local. I mean, as a kid, when I grew up, I had the option. I guess we grew up in, like, the height, because, like, you could just go in and, like, just try anything. There was pedal boards and, like, there was guitars everywhere. And, like, now you don't know what you got because everybody's like, oh, the internet. I'm like, well, you ain't even played it yet.
Right.
You just paid all that money and it's coming in the mail. And then you got to mail it back.
Never
and it's
even
like,
had it
dude,
in hand.
Amazon ain't even wrecked yet.
Yeah.
Like, that thing ain't even,
Never.
that ain't even got thrown over the fence to your yard yet. The dog ain't chewed on nothing. Like, you ain't mad about nothing.
Never had it in hand.
It doesn't make any sense.
Now you'll have to help me here because I remember when you first come out, and Chad was really intrigued with the guitar, the left-handed, right-handed guitar.
Right.
Left
I
guitar,
just like that
right-handed,
one. It was,
left-looking guitar. Patty.
Yeah, the Patty Swag.
Okay. Do you have a name for this one?
Oh, man. That's
Haven't named it.
that's just the hoopty, dude. I
The
guess.
hoopty. The hoopty.
That thing is a raven. Like, you can look
The
that up.
Raven.
I got it from Cat and Dennis. It was Dennis's. He just had it somewhere, and it was a 7-string. Dennis is an above the fray with us.
Yeah.
And he just had it, and he just let me get it for like $100. I remember they were all in Staffords when I was growing up, and like,
Yeah.
it's just Raven. It's an off-brand
that's-
Chinese company.
You know what we talked about you last time, I asked anyways, was what you grew up listening to. And I'd like to hear from your band members.
Right.
What did you grow up
What
listening to?
inspired
What
you?
inspired you?
Bass player.
I grew up listening to like 90s alternative grunge stuff, and then
Let me get you a little closer to the mic. I'm sorry.
And then for a big stint before I started playing bass and everything through middle school, I was really into ICP.
Yeah, Insane Clown Posse. There you go. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to.
That's
Talk
a,
about
But then when I started playing bass and everything, like I started listening to a lot of like Tool, Promise, like just bass heavy stuff, really. And, like, I've always really liked Sublime.
So I always think that that's great that, you know, you start out listening to a certain type of music and it gets you inspired to play an instrument. And then when you play that instrument, you're like, okay, well, who plays this instrument well?
yeah.
And you start naming Tool and you start naming Primus and that is, you know, bass, right?
A lot of
right.
bass heavy songs.
Bass heavy songs. So that's great. It opens up your door. And how about yourself? What do you,
Lars Ulrich.
besides the tuba, he was playing Star Wars.
That's it. John Bonham.
Hey, look, I love Bonham. I
Yes.
listened to
absolutely.
classic rock when I
Hands
was a
off.
kid.
I-
We joke,
I mean,
but absolutely.
Right.
I grew up like in a very poor area of Philadelphia, so we just listened to our parents' old records or 8-tracks, and cassettes, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. One of the first records I ever listened to was the original Black Sabbath album.
Oh, yeah.
And that caught my ear. I mean, to this day, I still think it's one of the best albums ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen to everything Zeppelin put out 1 through 4. My favorite album is I've just lost it.
It's all right.
Led Zeppelin ain't worth remembering.
Throw it out there.
But all of their albums are just amazing. I mean, listening to Bonham play, I mean, he's obviously an inspiration for me. Black Sabbath, Bill Ward. Obviously, started listening to more and more metal as everything kind of went on in the 80s.
Right.
Metallica started coming around, Megadeth. I started listening to that. Then I started progressing through the 90s stuff, alternative, and listening to Nirvana and everything like that growing up, and obviously everything they evolved into with Foo Fighters. And
Oh, yeah.
watching Dave Grohl play was
That's what I was going
amazing
to
as a
say. Yeah,
drummer,
that
and then watching him
amazing
transition to
drummer
guitar.
and then turn into a lead guitar singer.
Unbelievable.
Right. Right. Talented, very talented guy.
As soon as I started listening to metal, biggest influence was Chris Adler, Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Watching him play made me realize that I couldn't do that unless I practiced.
Challenge.
Watching his feet.
Challenge
fast-
accepted.
It was the first time I heard fast, super fast double bass. And as soon as I heard that, I just fell in love.
Yeah.
Ashes of the Wake and Sacrament.
Wow.
Best albums they ever put out.
Wow. Yeah, cool, man. And so we got the lead singer. What inspired you? Or it just happened?
Well, I have all kinds of inspirations. As far as music, I know some of the earliest things I grew up listening to, huge Beatles fan, and Frank Zappa, listened to a lot of Frank Zappa. And as far as in this band, I'd say what I'm probably more inspired by is some of the things I listened to in the 90s, because I think a lot of our sound sort of, resembles that. So with that, probably be stuff like Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails.
Right.
I draw a lot of inspiration from that. The openness of his lyrics, and also like Jonathan Davis of Korn.
Some Lane Staley?
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't dive into their albums as much. I think a lot of what I listened to growing up was actually dictated by what was available from the BMG catalog. So they had you could get 12 CDs for the price of one. And I would also
1 cent.
I would what he's saying is, well, no, that was Columbia House. So with BMG, I would actually get my friends to sign up, and I could actually get 5 CDs as a bonus.
Wow.
And you did have to pay for shipping, but I would actually, I got a lot of my CDs that way. And I'm going to guess, since I didn't listen to a lot of their albums back then, it's probably because it wasn't in the BMG catalog.
Right.
Because CDs were really expensive. If you remember, they were like $17.99.
Man,
Disc jockey and then FYE. And
That's back when $17 was still $17.
right.
right now, CD is like $10 brand new.
Right.
It's interesting because most things go up in price, but CDs have actually
Old
kinda
disc
went down.
jockey over in Liberty Fair Mall. Yeah, I used to love going in there and looking at, because that's when the actual CDs come with cardboard too. They were like these long things, but the CD was at the top.
It just feels better. It's still why like people are diving back into vinyl. Like vinyl had the biggest sales like during COVID, and like it was spiking before that. It's like just the same reason.
I
Like
don't
the
think anything
guitars were
sounds
going
better.
bankrupt.
I'm old enough.
I love
I'm
vinyl.
old enough that I hit the tail end of vinyl,
Yeah.
and I got to see tapes, and then on the CDs, I was already into high school before they came out.
Right. I had CDs for about 6 years, and then I started downloading music after Napster.
I had a cousin that sent me CDs. He lives in Connecticut, and I wasn't around the music scene, but he'd send me CDs in the mail, and of all the '80s music, '90s music that I was missing out on.
I remember like now it does feel like we are missing something because like back in the day you get to say that phrase right, but like I would get an album and like you would dive into it, like it had the lyrics and the band photos. You didn't get a lot of that stuff, so you really just like had a ton of just stuff there.
Over
You know,
and over
and
and
you would
over.
dive into it. It had the lyrics and
The lyrics and some artwork to look at.
Yeah, you had,
You
something
had
physical to
something.
hold.
You had something.
you felt part of a community when you,
Right.
you just bought that thing. And,
Now you just look.
I
it up
still
on
remember
your
the
phone.
smell.
yeah, like you
It
can't
had its
keep
own
anything
smell.
about it.
And you can't get a sound. The sound that you guys put out tonight, and we'll put out in a little bit here some more. People are listening to it on the phone, and you just can't feel it. Like
No.
it is.
We hear that the most, and that's the biggest compliment I think I can get. It's like people just like everybody's heard it all and seen it all, but we have so many people that come up to us jaded from just being around the scene, and like we just and just ignited a spark into them because it's like we get that because it's like I just refuse not to just as long as I can breathe and God lets me get up every day, I'm gonna send it, and
Right.
it changes what you get out of something.
And I don't want to cut us off, but I mean, we could talk. We just keep on going. But
we got the
Shania's
finger.
gave me the finger. Well, she likes you, so I got the finger.
Well, I'm nice to her.
So-
and
I'm
That's
nice
all
to her
it
too.
takes.
But tell us, where are you going to be next?
Monstercade, we're playing
Monster
that in
Cave. Where's that at?
That's in Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem,
And that's
okay.
going to be Saturday, April 8th, from
April
Black Tie
8th.
Gallows.
Yeah.
And after that, it's Bessemer's Billiards in Greensboro. That'll be the first Friday of May.
Nice. And where can we find you? YouTube?
Yep. YouTube, Bandcamp,
The
Facebook.
Wandering?
Facebook, Instagram,
Everything's
yeah.
wandering. The
Wandering.
wandering.
The
The
Wandering,
wandering.
yeah.
The wandering. The wandering. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We greatly appreciate y'all.
Dude,
As
always,
always,
man.
Chuck.
Chuck, man.
Love you guys so
Appreciate
much.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Man, appreciate you, boss.
Pleasure.
And you
Thanks for
too.
putting up
Good
with
seeing
us.
you again. Let's dump the water again. And we greatly appreciate everybody that's joining us. We hope you enjoy this and crank it up. Crank it up. But you really need to see these guys live. YouTube, like we've talked about before, YouTube, the sound is not there, the sound quality. Facebook, the sound quality is not there. Even CD. But when you get out there and you actually experience the sound,
That's
and
when you feel it.
that bass is hitting you,
when
the
you feel it.
drums is there, the singing is there, the guitar. I still can't hear. I still got my ears are ringing. I've got these headphones wide open.
Well, let's play.
I love it.
Let's let them play again.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, be real. Come on back.
Be real.
Maggots, they have no honor. Fight! Maggots, they creep in every corner. Fight! Maggots, living in the wall. Fight! Maggots, they wait for you to fall. The promises they won't break. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. They never hear. They only post. Only nod your head. Stop! Stop it! They love you when you're dead. The promises they will break. It's hard to tell who's real and who's fake. They never give. They only take. Oh Lord help us. How do we stop it?